But then, what if x open bracket x plus 1 is equal to 0? And they say we should solve for x. So then this thing is easy. Reduction to the bracket. So then x is equal to 0 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, we're going to transpose this positive 1 to the other side. Take that to the other side, become a negative 1. So then our answer is x is equal to 0 or x is equal to negative 1. Thank you. Then number 1. Then 1.2. What if you oh yeah. 3x minus 4 is equal to 3 all over x again. So then we have to remove this denominator. Remove and multiply the same denominator. So multiply x. So then how moki yena urle uno cancha x multiply to number bracketing. Or kachalom pressure or komala x moki times x moki. So now x come on to multiply this 3x and minus 4. Then therefore 2 by multiply x all over x again. So then therefore it means that this thing is going to cancel with this one, then Roshan like 2 again. Then x is going to multiply with this 3x, giving us 3x squared again. Then x multiplying with this negative 4, giving us negative 4x again. Therefore, already how to this 2, this positive 2 I transpose this again negative 2 again. So then this thing in relativity is quadratic again. Therefore, this thing quadratic formula. So then right here B are negative 4, A are negative 3, C are negative 2 again. So therefore we transpose formula. There's no need to deal with again. Therefore B are number 1 and B are negative 4. What's negative 4 monkey? Then was negative 4 squared minus 4, 83, C negative 2, all over 2A, A are negative 3 again. Therefore, the pancha quadratic discriminant are not really because small maraga for discriminant move. So now pancha this the whole thing, it will 40. So this is going to be 4 plus all over I plus and minus root of 40 again, all over 6. 6 liter guys, 2 multiplied by 3. Now which is again. So then therefore you punch a calculator, take a punch a positive side and play x is equal to 1,72. Then on a punch the negative side and play negative 0,39. So then we're done with number 2. Going to number 3, we're given 3. We're given 3 to the power of x plus 3 minus 3 to the power of x plus 2. Again, it's all equivalent to 486. So then this thing, 3 to the power of x plus 3, it can be arrogant. It can be split head, split. It can be split. Okay, so it can be, it got one again. Number separated over 3 to the x multiplied by 3 to the power of 3 again, minus 3 to the x plus 2 can also be separated into what? 3x multiplied by 3 to the power of 2. How can you separate this thing? Because like if a lot of exponents, again, when multiplying parts of the same base, you add exponents. So if you multiply 3 and this 3 is going to be 3x plus 3 again. It will be somewhere around again, like we again. So then let's continue again. So then level is a more cheating in the one. One common factor which is going to be 3 to the power of x again. It's all like again. So then therefore common factor 3 to the power of x. Again, some more 3 to the power of 3. Then again, second click 3 to the power of 2. So then those is the brackets again. Therefore, I go multiply this 3 to the power of 3, multiply this thing, it don't again. This thing multiply this thing, don't again. Therefore, this thing calculate in 18 again. Therefore, again 18, kinaga 3 to the power of x again. Or you cancel 18 x and divide 18. So I can divide 18, this thing and this thing are going to cancel each other again. Therefore, what you do on the left hand side, you do it on the right hand side. 486 divided by 18 is equal to what? 27. Thank you. Okay. So then we have 3 to the power of x. Again, when 18 and 18 they cancel each other, so like 3 to the power of x again. It's equal to 27 again. So then therefore, this 1027 guy changes into a prime base, which is going to be 3. 3 to the power of 3 again. So then the basis is one, and then lots of exponents and powers when the bases are the same, the of the exponent. So then x is equal to 3. This is our final answer.
Can I just come in here because I saw something. So this was a mistake that I saw from, I won't say the class. This is what I saw. Okay, number one. Mistake number one, then after factorizing, we should give it to them. They were able to factorize them. And then they got 18. After getting 18, they will say this one multiplied by this one. Just want us to talk about it. So they will say 3x multiplied by 18, and then they will get an answer then. So they will say something like 3 multiplied by 18, and then they will get an answer. The answer will be 54 to the power of x, which is going to be 486. So they will get, we said that is 54.
Yeah.
To the power of x, which is going to be 486. And then from there onwards, they will say something like 54, 54. And then 54 will divide 54. And then this one and this one, what do you get? You get what, 9? Okay, so this is what I saw, number one. Let's talk to someone who did something like this. We don't want them to make the same mistake. I'm not saying it's you, like, even if I'm looking at you, it doesn't mean I'm saying it's you. Just saying let's assist each other here. What's wrong with this? Can we multiply this one and this one? Okay, why not? Because like it makes sense, there's a multiplication again. So why shouldn't we multiply? That was the first mistake that I saw in this question.
Because we're dealing with exponent.
The what?
What is
If we notice here, guys, this one is to the power of x. Okay?
Yeah.
This one here is to the power of 1 of 1. So you can't multiply things which don't have the same exponent. Very well. So for you to be able to multiply, like we didn't say that it's 2 multiplied by 3. They able to multiply this is because both of them have exponent 1, so you can multiply them. So you can't multiply these two because they have different exponents. And then the other thing that we saw is this one. I remember seeing it from. So the learner did something like this. They said 3 to the power of x is equal to 18, which is going to be equal to 486. Then they went on to say 3 to the power of x is going to be equal to 27. No, this is correct. The learner is not wrong.
yes.
But this is another mistake that I want us to avoid next time. The learner did this. And then they got x is equal to what? To 9. What's wrong with this?
It's wrong because this x is the multiplier.
The basis? The base, yeah, but still, it's still the same law. You can't divide these two things because this one is to the power of 1 again. This one is to the power of x. So they can't divide each other. For them to be able to divide each other, they need to have the same exponent. Even here, you're still wrong. You know yourself. And then who did this? You know yourself. It's wrong. I think also you can continue from here. I just wanted to mention. In fact, I also wanted to talk about some of the things that we saw here. Okay. The other issue here was this one here. Here, rounding off. Most of the learners, we did penalize them for rounding off. So let's go and type this in your calculator and then see how do we fix this issue of rounding off. So let's take the following. The color is somehow. All right. So if we're going to type this in our calculator and then you have the problem of rounding off, this is how we're going to solve the problem of rounding off. So we can type this original one because this one is much safer. This one is the discriminant one again. So let's type this one here. So we go and say we have minus open bracket, minus 4 close bracket, plus you can check. but I doubt it. All right, so after typing this, and then we say this is going to be our answer. Now, guys, if they didn't say anything, most of us, this is the other mistake that I saw. Like there was no instruction on our test. If you go to your test, they didn't say anything. So they simply said, okay, let's just solve for x. There was no instruction. So you get an answer like this one. But you can't stop here because there's an instruction here. Here's an instruction which says, if necessary, answers should be rounded off to 2 decimal places unless stated otherwise. So you can't leave your answer here. You can't leave your answer here because they say unless stated otherwise, then when you can round off your answer to 2 decimal places. So after that, you say this and then it gives you the following. Now you want to round it off to 2 decimal places. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go, let's go to our calculators now. Shift. And then we go to setup. And then we press 6. On 6, it asks us which is fix. Fix is asking you how many values do you want to see after the comma. If you say 2, it means you are going to round off to 2 decimal places. And then it gives you 1,72. Can you see that? So you say x is going to be 1,27. That's fine. And then the next thing that we're going to do here is to go to the minus. And then if you say here, it says which this is going to be given as minus 3,1,39. And then the question that I then get is then, how then do we take our calculator back to normal, guys? So we said, how do you make it to round it off? You say shift and then you go to setup. Okay? On setup, you have fix, which is option number 6, according to this calculator. You check on your calculator, which is option 1. And then you fix it. Fix it, it says 0 up until 9. 0 up until 9 is asking you, how many values do you want after the comma? If you say 1, you're going to get 1 number after the comma. If you say 2, you're going to get 2 numbers after the comma. And then as soon as you're done using this thing, guys, you can clear. Go to your calculator and clear everything. And then how to clear everything? You go to Shift 9. And then it should say clear setup. You press 1. And then you say clear setup. You can say yes for equals to, and then AC to cancel equals to. And then you press AC. Clear is completed. Now, if you go and do this thing again, then it's back to the original rounding off. Also, you can continue.
Shop.
So then,
Shop. Sure.
1.1.4, we're given root of x plus 2 plus 4. Plus 4 is outside the root again. It's equaling to x again. So the best thing that we're going to do is transpose the 4 now we shall again a set fail. Tapos natin liluan. So transpose this 4 region siya kami ba negative 4. So kan kita balik x minus 4 kan kita balik the root of x plus 2. So then now cancel out this thing I said. Here do siya kau dirang kau square up both sides again. Or you do on the left hand side, you do on the right hand side again. So then the square of this thing, here square of this thing kan kita side square again. So then how I take the left go y expand or aska email again. So that's by the both side again. This thing and this thing do from x plus 2 again. It's equaling to so then this thing up x multiplied by x x squared again. Then x multiplied by negative 4, it's negative 4x. Negative 4 multiplied by x, it's equaling to negative 4x. Both of them do from negative 8x again. Plus, negative 4 multiplied by negative 4, it's negative and negative, giving you positive. And then 4 times 4 give 60. So then, again. Project this x plus 2 as a whole, again. And transpose x by negative. Number 8x, x is going to be, again, like term, negative 8x again. So that's going to be equal to what? Negative 9x again. Then this 2 is like negative 16 minus 2 is equal to 40. Therefore, we're having a quadratic in a standard form again. It's all equal to 0. So then what you can do is factorize this thing, or you can use the quadratic equation, but we prefer the factorizing method because it's easy and quick here. Yeah, and also professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then don't try this at home if for your home, and then we derive for the table. So then x minus, therefore factorize our x and x, then vector stuff 47 lead to take it or in hegidi minus, take it or in gidi add yampa -9, and take it or in gidi multiply yampa +14. It over a -7 -2, because x times x in push step back to x squared. -7 multiplied by -7 and +14 again. X and x and -2, -2x, -7, -7, -7 and x. You have -7x. You cancel -9x again. Therefore, that's already the bracket of blah blah. X is equal to +7 because of the transposer. You by x is equal to +7. X is equal to -2. You by x is equal to 2. So then what you're going to do, you're going to go back to your calculator, which you're going to applicable. So then negative calculating x is equal to 7 is applicable. Then this 2 is not applicable. So then therefore I can conclude and say x is equal to it's equal to 7. That's our final answer. So then the table 1.1.5, which is a quadratic, I say quadratic, sorry, inequality. X squared minus 3x minus 10 is all greater than 0 again. Therefore, how would I factorize it up? So -5 multiplied by 2, it will some route to negative. Sorry. -5 multiplied by 2 e to the power -10 again. X and x verifying x squared, then -5x to the positive 2x verify -3x. Therefore, bracket anything, the -5 transpose the disagamo over x is equal to 5. That 2 transpose the disagamo x is equal to -2 again. Therefore, this is our CVs. Critical values again. Therefore, I'm going to use this critical values to plot the graph again. So let it plot the graph. We're going to start with the smallest value first. Our smallest value is -2, then the like +5 again. Therefore, our A is positive. Therefore, our graph is smiling again. Let's say by you again. Therefore, we are going to the solution. Solution area x is greater than 5 because a is positive. When a is positive, the bigger one takes the original sign again. Therefore, -2, the smaller one is going to take the other sign, which is going to be x is less than -2. Thank you.
So it's hard to pin if you want to pause. How the pin hard to pin. What?
And the other is calculate the equation that is from 1. And then it's like when it comes to x, it's like plus 2 and then that's something that equation 3. And then we can x, the NKANGALA 2 plus. And then God tries that. And then what?
question whereby you did. The form extremely messy.
Different squared plus 2x y plus 3y squared because and then we get it substitute here x. Multiple x that the center 2y plus and then muki yari 2y kapadalacha wait later yeah and then leave and then yeah, sorry, that's all. And then leaves and then kakera parking. Quadratic. And I just want to come here. And then why am I talking? And then that's the for the equation for in then x is equal to x squared plus kx plus x plus k is plus 2 negative and then and then b is k I can standard form can and then b k a g 1 c k plus and then k by multiply and then standard form multiplication make it squared minus 4 a minus 5 is what it is. And then condition area is 5. So discriminant scientific is and 0. And then k minus 6 k plus 2 and then k is looking
Let's take some time, guys. Here it was a real year challenge. When it comes to this one here, I think I was trying to check what might have been the problem. Most of the learners, they managed to see that this equation is already in a standard form, so we shouldn't change it there. Already in a standard form. And then the challenge is then substituting. So we have to come and substitute on x squared minus 2xy plus 3y squared, which is going to be equal to 4. What does this mean? It means we're going to go everywhere we see x. So there's an x here, we're going to put this. So there's also an x here, we're also going to put this. Now the challenge here was that if you look at this thing here, this is one thing, guys. This thing here is one thing. Now, if this is one thing, then I will then propose to learners to say, you can write this thing as minus 2yx. Since you are going to substitute everywhere you see x, it makes sense for you to write it that way so that you don't separate them. The challenge that I saw there is that people came and put here x. I agree this is x here. And then here they're supposed to have minus 2 here, and then here they have 1. Then it also became a problem. So to mitigate that, I'm saying, maybe we should put it this way. If we are going to substitute x, let's put the x at the end and then put the y so that we know which here we're going to put our x here. So here we have to come and put x. What is our x here? 2y plus 2. It's 2y plus 2. And then you still have plus 3y squared, which is going to be 4. And you had minus here, and then here, instead of x squared, you are going to put 2y plus 2, and then here you are going to put 2y plus 2. And then after this, guys, it's a matter of you concentrating. It seems that we still have to learn this mental strength of concentrating. If you can substitute correctly, guys, the next thing here, if the challenge was here, when we're going to multiply this one. So you have to come and multiply this one multiplied by this one, which is going to give you minus 4y squared. This one multiplied by this one is going to give you minus 8y. And then if you fall here, you say this one multiplied by this one, it gave us, again, it's negative. Look at this one. It's negative. Huh?
8 is the problem.
Or 8 is the problem. So it should be minus 4. And then from here onward, then you can come and get your standard form. And then after getting your standard form, then you factorize. After factorizing, then you can get the other answer. You call this.
So guys, number 2.1, we're given 18 to the power of x multiplied by 8 to the power of x minus 1 all over 9 to the power of x plus 1 multiplied by 4 2x minus 1. So we have to change 18 into a prime base. So when you take 18 and making it into a prime base in your calculator, you'll get 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of 2. And then we keep the factors into the bracket and then multiply it by this x because we had 18 to the power of x. And then we change 8 into a prime base, we get 2 to the power of 3, and then we keep it into the bracket so that we could multiply them with x minus 1. And then coming to our denominator, we had 9. So we have to make 9 into a prime base. We have 3 to the power of 2, and then keep it in the brackets, and then to the power of x plus 1. And then we have 4, which we have to make it into a prime base, make 2 to the power of 2 into brackets, and then raise it to the power of 2x minus 1. And then I raised the power exponent to the first power. I said 2 to the power of 1 multiplied by x. I got 2 to the power of x, and said 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2. But multiplied by x, I got 3 to x. And then came to the other side. 2 to the power of x gives me 2 to the power of 3x. And then 2 to the power of 3 to the power of negative 1 gave me 2 to the power of negative 3. And coming to my denominator, I said 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by x. It gives me 3 to the power of 2x, and came and said 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 gives me 3 to the power of 2. And the other side, 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2x gave me 2 to the power of 4x, and then 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by negative 1 gives me 2 to the power of negative 2. And then I came and checked if I have like tens at my numerator, and then I found 2x and 2 to the power of 3x. And then I said 2 to the power of x plus 3x. And then I wrote 3 to the power of 2x multiplied by 2 to the power of negative 3. Then came to my denominator and said 3 to the power of 2x multiplied by 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4 and multiplied by 2 to the power of negative 2. And then I see that I have something in common as the numerator and as the denominator. 2 to the power of x plus 3x gives me 2 to the power of 4x, and I already have 2 to the power of 4x as my denominator. This one divide this one, and then this one will also divide this one. So I'll be left with 2 to the power of negative 3 over 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of negative 2. And then I punch that into my calculator, and then it will give me 1 all over 18. That's a final answer. Then came to 2.2. I had bracket 2 all over square root of 3 minus square root of 3 over all squared. And then I broke the brackets into 2 so that I could not get confused, and said 2 all over 3 root of 3 multiplied by the 2 all over root of 3 gave me 4 all over 3. And then 2 all over root of 3 multiplied by negative 2. Negative root of 3 all over 2 gave me 4 all over 3. And then this one divided by this one, this one, this, and then I punched that into my calculator and gave me 1 over.
It was.
Ay, makas.
Ano bang pwede niyo here?
So much don't bracket multiply minus open bracket x minus 360 over 10 open bracket minus x plus open bracket minus x. So multiply daily cos into 90 equation to our side. And then we multiply the side x equals 360, which is this only. And then multiply the 10 right there come to you, and then we are sin x equals 90 changes and it reduces. So let's check I don't have to change. I la plus one before alpha negative, my alpha positive, and then negative multiplies by 3 over negative 10 squared all over 10 sin x over 4 multiplied by 7. And then finally division there are minus sin x over 4. And then repeat the motion. Repeat the motion. First, say and then sin plus sin x multiplied with sin x squared, and then minus sin x so minus square theta over cos theta minus 1 plus sin square which is cos theta. And then dira 1 is the event identity, and then yang cos square plus sin square, and then everything else event was continue on. And then do sa cos this part do sa from the denominator, and then I had like one thing, and then you have a sin theta minus 10 can be written as sin theta over cos multiplied by cos squared, which was divided by cos theta minus cos squared theta minus sin squared theta plus sin squared. This minus sin squared theta name sin squared theta they are neutralized, and then kashala cos theta minus cos squared, and then also cos squared theta a divided and cos theta comes from that community. And then kashala sin theta minus sin theta plus theta divided by cos theta minus cos squared theta. And then yaba kan sa common factor which is then sine common factor kan din sine kan din sa kasara ka 1 minus cos. And then most common factor kan din cos kan ang taking sa kasara ka cos into 1 minus cos. And then yeah divide that theta ka sine over sine theta over cos theta, which is which and then division is on the left side.
So if we are to use an end of a diagram, we are going to use the right angle triangle structure. So from here we can then come and decide, okay, we are given 3, 10 beta, which is equal to -2. And then from here, if you divide both sides by 3, it says the 10 of beta is going to be given by -2 all over 3. What they're trying to say here is that the 10 of beta should be negative. Now you can come and check on your quadrants. Where is tan supposed to be negative? Go and check. Where is tan supposed to be negative? So it's supposed to be negative on the second quadrant, and then it's also supposed to be negative on the what? On the quadrant. Okay, so we have that one in all. So it's going to be negative on the fourth quadrant and the what and the second quadrant. They went on to say, but beta should be an angle between 0 up until we get to what? 278. Now there's a part which they are not counting here. Which part is that? The fourth quadrant. So where are we supposed to draw our diagram?
Second.
So we are going to draw our diagram on the second quadrant. Okay, now what does this mean? It means starting from here to here, this is going to be our beta here. So we have our beta, and then after having our beta, we can go and define what is going to be. Then we can define what is going to be 10. How to define 10? We define 10 using SOHCAHTOA. We can say it's going to be TOA. Then O represent Y, and then A represent what? S. Then it means the following here. It means which we are going to say our Y should be. This is what confused learners here. Look at the following. So we have Y. The negative here is in the middle here. So you have your Y all over X. That's how you define 10. Now the top part is going to be your Y. The bottom part is going to be your what? Your X. And then you come and write them, and then you say Y is 2. And then X is going to be equal to what? 2 to 3. Now, on this quadrant here, you expect your Y to be positive or negative here. Y.
Positive.
So what, your Y is going to be positive, actually. And then on this quadrant, what do you say about X here?
Negative.
X is going to be what? Negative.
Negative.
So this negative here, it doesn't necessarily mean which it goes with 2, no. It goes with either 2 or it goes with what? With 3. Hence we're saying this negative, it's in the middle. You can come and write it this way. So you have the 10 of beta, which is going to be -2 all over 3. This negative here, you can come and put it here. And if you don't want to come and put it there, you can still come and put it here. Still fine, doesn't matter. As long as you have a negative, one negative, it doesn't matter where you put it. Now, what's the next thing that we do? The next thing that we're going to do from here is to look for the missing side. What seems to be missing here? The hypotenuse side. How do we get the hypotenuse side? We'll say that we have r squared, which is x squared plus y squared. And then we're going to have -3 all squared plus 2 all squared. And then if you type this in your calculator, it gives you 13. And then you say squared, it's a plus and a minus. R is going to be plus and a minus root 13. Guys, we don't want to see your answer in decimal. Because they said use an 8 of a diagram, we don't want to see your answer in decimal. So you have root 13. Which one are we going to take here? And why are we taking the positive one? Then it says which our R is going to be square root of 13. Then we can come and say, yeah, this is going to be square root of 13. Then they come and ask us which one is going to be the cos of beta. And then 3.1.1, what is going to be the cos of beta? How do you define cos? So the cos of beta is going to be given as adjacent, which is x all over r. What is the x? Our x is minus 3. What is our r? Root of 13. And then you'll get a mark for doing something like this. You'll get a mark for the diagram. You'll get a mark for the theorem of Pythagoras. So the first question, if you can check, it was saying 4 marks. Okay? Where are you going to get your 4 marks? You get your 4 marks for drawing your diagram in the correct quadrant. You get your mark for getting the value of the missing side, which is r. And then you get the mark for defining this thing correctly. So let's go to the next one. And then on 3.1.2, they said we should come and tell them what is going to be 2 the sine square of beta minus 1 again. Now, how are you going to put this in your calculator? That's very important. So you have 2 open bracket. You have the sine of beta all squared. It helps, guys, if you write it this way. And then you can come and define what is going to be the sine of beta. How do you define sine of beta? You can define it as 2 open bracket. This is going to be y all over 1 all over all squared minus 1. Then we have 2 multiplied by what is your y here? It's 2 all over root 13 again. All squared minus 1. Then from here, guys, I can safely say you can go and use your calculator. As long as you remember, guys, you can't have decimals as your answers. In fact, your Kesho calculator is going to give you answer exactly the way they want it. So you have 2 open bracket. You have 2 all over root 13. All squared minus 1. What did I do wrong?
1.
Minus 1. And then it says with our final answer is going to be minus 5 all over 1 all over 13. That's all. And then here you get 1 mark for correctly substituting, and then you get 1 mark for the answer. And then go to the last one, 3.2.3. Or 3.1.3. Then they say which we should give them what is going to be minus, what is going to be the sine of minus beta. So what is it that we first do here, guys? See, now we don't work with negative angles, okay? So we're not going to work with negative angles. So the first thing that we're going to do is to say this thing is going to be written as is going to be written as the sine. This thing here is supposed to be written as the sine of beta. First, you make your angle to be positive. The next thing is to check whether this thing here is going to give you a negative sign or what, or a positive sign. How do you know whether you're going to get a positive sign or a negative sign? You can come and check it in your calculator. On your calculator, you can come and say what is going to be the sign of minus 1. Sign of minus 1 does it give you something which is positive or something which is negative? Then it means you are going to have minus the sign of beta here. If you have minus the sign of beta, then you can come and say this is going to be minus open bracket y all over r. Then it says you're going to have minus open bracket, which is going to be 2 all over root 13. And then this thing is going to give you minus 2 all over root 13. And then this is going to be your final answer. And then I think we have marked everything.
Yes.